Did you know that during World War II, an elite group of artists and creatives tricked the German army with nothing but rubber tanks, loudspeakers, and incredible creativity? This is the untold story of the Ghost Army, a secret weapon that used illusions to shift the tides of war. Trust me, you've never heard a historical war story quite like this one. The year was 1944. World War II was raging, and the Allies were desperate to outsmart the Axis powers. While guns and tanks tore through Europe, the US Army came up with a completely unorthodox idea. Instead of force, what if they used deception? It wasn't just any kind of deception. It was theatrical, mesmerizing, and even beautiful. The brainchild of some of the most creative minds, this was the birth of the Ghost Army. So what exactly was this Ghost Army? Officially known as the 23rd Headquarters Special Troops, it was a unit of about 100 men. But these weren't your typical soldiers. They were artists, actors, sculptors, and acoustic specialists recruited from some of the top schools and studios across America. Guys who, just months earlier, were painting murals or designing advertisements would now play an instrumental role in defeating one of the most powerful militaries in the world. And here's the twist. Their weapons weren't bullets or bombs. Their arsenal consisted of inflatable tanks, truckloads of fake artillery, and an elaborate sound system that could project the noise of a massive marching army for miles. That's right, this wasn't combat, it was performance art on a battlefield. The goal? To create illusions that fooled German intelligence and completely threw off their strategies. Let's talk about their most famous operation. It was late in the summer of 1944, right after the success of the D-Day invasion. The Allies needed to protect their troops as they advanced further into France, and the Ghost Army was given a daring mission near the French town of Metz. Using hundreds of inflatable tanks and trucks, they positioned their fake forces to make the Germans believe there was a massive Allied buildup in an entirely wrong location. To make the illusion even more convincing, they went all out. Loudspeakers blasted the sounds of soldiers moving equipment, while others faked radio transmissions filled with coded chatter designed specifically for German spies to intercept. Soldiers even set up fake campfires, hung laundry, and mimed the daily routines of an actual army. The level of detail was staggering. At one point, members of the Ghost Army posed as actual generals to mislead enemy spies watching from a distance. Every detail was carefully considered, and you know what? It worked. The Germans diverted significant resources to defend against what turned out to be nothing but an elaborate bluff. The success of the Ghost Army didn't end there. Throughout 1944 and 1945, this unit carried out over 20 deception operations, saving potentially tens of thousands of Allied lives. They never fired a single shot, yet their work caused massive confusion and chaos in enemy ranks. But what happened to these unsung heroes after the war? For decades, the Ghost Army's missions were shrouded in secrecy, only declassified in the 1990s. By then, many of the men who had served were living quiet lives as artists, designers, and teachers. Their contributions may not have involved gunfire or battlefield glory, but make no mistake, they were war heroes in every sense. And here's a mind-blowing piece of information. Legendary fashion designer Bill Blass was a member of the Ghost Army. Before he became famous for his iconic suits and dresses, he was sketching fake battle plans to fool German reconnaissance. Today, the legacy of the Ghost Army is finally getting the recognition it deserves. There's even a Ghost Army Memorial Act, passed in 2021, to honor their contributions to World War II, but how many more years might their stories have remained untold if it weren't for these newly declassified files? So why does this matter? Because it teaches us a crucial lesson. Innovation and creativity can be just as powerful as brute force. In fact, sometimes it's the individuals who think outside the box, those who paint, sculpt, and dream, who can change the course of history. The next time someone tells you that art is just a hobby, remember the Ghost Army and the artist who outwitted one of the most formidable forces the world has ever known. Because history isn't always made by warriors. Sometimes it's made by artists with inflatable tanks and a whole lot of imagination. This is fascinating history. Don't forget to share this incredible story with friends and family, because stories like these absolutely deserve to be heard.